Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. In this video, we're looking at the Sunday NFL wildcard slate. We have three games. I will kind of run through this one pretty quickly because it is starting in a few hours, and don't want to waste too much of your guys' time. So let's get started. As always, appreciate you guys to the like button down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Yesterday didn't go great, so hopefully today goes better. These games look, right off the bat, they look like there's a lot more options than yesterday. So starting off here at quarterback, yesterday everybody knew just to plug in Josh Allen. Today there's a lot of decisions to be made. You have Lamar Jackson at 78 if you want to get a piece of a running quarterback in there. He's been doing great with his legs recently. They have been rolling last like 4 or 5 weeks. And this game, the first game, once again, just like yesterday's, projected to be the highest scoring of the three. So you will see a lot of ownership in the first game, but I think it's a little bit tough to get away. So I do like Jackson. I do think you can go to Tannehill, two guys that do use their legs a bit. Tannehill had 2 rushing touchdowns last week, had 2 more in Week 15, another one in Week 16. So he does use his legs. And if Derrick Henry's not getting it going, then, they're just going to rely on Tannehill, and he's been more than serviceable this season and last season. You have Drew Brees down at just $5,700. I think he looks like a nice option. He's getting back his number one weapon in Michael Thomas. It's against the Bears, but it is at home in a dome where Brees has always been better at home. So I feel good about paying just $5,700 for him in a spot where they are probably going to have to throw the football a little bit and run it a bit too. But with Michael Thomas back, I feel good about them having success throwing the football. And you can easily do a nice 3-man stack with Drew Brees, running back, put in Alvin Kamara, and then wide receiver, put in Michael Thomas. All three are pretty affordable, especially Thomas and Brees. Kamara's $8,500, but there's only two running backs above $8,000, him and Derrick Henry. I like Kamara a little bit more just because he gives you upside in the receiving category, which is something Henry doesn't do. Henry is 92 if you want to jam both top-end running backs. I think that's fine. It is not a easy spot for Henry, but he has just been matchup-proof this season. Against Baltimore, he put up 23 in the earlier media against them, so he does have some upside, but 23 at 92 is still not going to, I don't think it's going to be enough for point per dollar wise. So I think you can look to another guy that does give you upside in the receiving category and who's just been on a tear in the second half, and that's David Montgomery. It's not an easy matchup. Saints are very good against the ground, but Montgomery also will get you catches out of the backfield, and they're missing Darnell Mooney, so maybe that'll increase a bit more. It's only $6,900. You have J.K. Dobbins in a similar price range. I do think Montgomery looks better than Dobbins, just with the extra upside that Montgomery has, being a 3-down back compared to splitting time Dobbins does with Gus Edwards, and Mark Ingram sometimes gets some work. So I do like Montgomery at $6,900. And then, you can look to Connor, you can look to Kareem Hunt, but they are like the secondary options, I think, besides the top couple. Wide receiver, pair Drew Brees, Michael Thomas, I think that makes sense. You have Allen Robinson at 65. You probably will get Lattimore coverage, but no Mooney, and he's just been peppered with targets by Trubisky this season, so I think you can play him at 65. It's not too much of a risk, but I do like Deontay Johnson at 6,200. You're getting a guy that just gets so many targets from Ben Roethlisberger, and as long as he's not dropping passes and being benched, it's a spot where they can throw the football. The Steelers have had no success this season running the football, so I think they will kind of maybe try that early, but if it doesn't work, then they'll just resort to their passing attack with Deontay Johnson, Claypool, Smith-Schuster. They do have a lot of weapons, so Deontay Johnson looks like a really nice play at 6,200. Then you can look to Juju, who's 55, if you wanted to get another piece in that game. I do like the tight end Ebron. We'll get to him, but Johnson is my favorite out of the three Pittsburgh wide receivers. And then you can look to Marquise Brown at just $5,400. I think he also looks like a nice option here. You're getting him playing his best football of the season with touchdowns, 2 touchdowns last week, a touchdown before that. Ever since Lamar Jackson has started to get it going, Marquise Brown has really benefited, and the targets and the touchdowns have also been there. And then you can also go cheap here at some wide receivers that are affordable. You have Corey Davis at only $4,800. I think that looks solid. Being out there on all the 2 wide receiver sets, getting a lot of targets. Still the second guy behind A.J. Brown, but he can also have big weeks as he has shown. And It was pretty solid against Baltimore in Week 11 with 19 DraftKings points. That will definitely be more than enough at this price point. I'll go ahead and just put in Corey Davis just to save some money because there's not a ton left. You have $3,800 left, but I think you still can do that with going cheaper at tight ends. You have Ebron at 37, Jonnu Smith at 32, two guys that are affordable, even Austin Hooper. Higgins is also really cheap at 4,100 if you want to get a value receiver from the Browns. And then I don't love the play because I think people might jump on him, but Andre Miller is only 3,300 if you need a complete punt play with no Mooney. He's going to be the second wide receiver. And the defenses, the DraftKings did give you some nice cheap defenses to pick from. You have the Titans down there, the Browns. I think the Browns, Bears, all these defenses are probably going to be similar. I think the Steelers and Saints are the two that have the most upside. But the guys that are the four that are below 34, like I think the Ravens are going to give up some points. The Bears should give up points. The Browns should give up points. Maybe one of these teams get lucky with like a defensive score. So I'll probably go cheap at defense. But that's it. I think all of these three games I want to have a piece of. I don't think there's any of these I'm just going to completely fade. I do like the Saints side a lot because I do like Breeze pairing him with his two weapons. And then the first game definitely has some appeal. And then I do like the Steelers in the final game. So we'll quickly look at FanDuel and look at their price tags. All right, on FanDuel pricing, starting off at quarterback, you have Lamar Jackson, 93, then Tannehill. The Tannehill, Breeze, Roethlisberger, they're all a bit more similarly priced on FanDuel, so I do think you can lean to Tannehill here at 82. I don't think he'll be too popular. I think people are going to Lamar Jackson or Drew Brees or Big Ben, so you could get Tannehill at low ownership, and anytime you get a running quarterback, not that he's a running quarterback, it does give you upside in getting a rushing touchdown. That's going to be pretty important on a three-game slate. Running backs, I do like Kamara a lot at 9,000. My favorite running back of the three-game slate. Then you can look at, I think J.K. Dobbins is only 68. He's only on DraftKings. He's $300 cheaper than Montgomery, so I'll lean to Montgomery. But FanDuel, I think Dobbins looks better just with the huge difference in price tags. And wide receivers still like to pair Tannehill with a weapon. It'll probably be Corey Davis with only 6,400. Michael Thomas is also really nicely priced at 6,800. And then you even have like Deontay Johnson at 7K. So I do like the wide receivers, how they look with Corey Davis, Thomas, and Deontay Johnson in there. All of them have pretty big ceilings, and hopefully Thomas is not limited with his injury, but I don't think he'll be. They said he'll be ready by the postseason. And then on FanDuel defenses, pretty much the same. You have the Browns, the Bears are cheap with some upside. I think the Browns look better. The Ravens look good at 42 against the Titans just because they can force some turnovers. But if you want to pay all the way up, go for the Saints, I think, at 46, or the Steelers. But I'll probably stick with defenses that are a little bit cheaper, like the Browns, I think, or the Bears, or the Ravens. So that's it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and best of luck.